What's going up, everybody? It's Chini the Great, and I just thought I would film a little video. This is probably gonna turn into a Write With Me Wednesday. I'm thinking maybe every now and then I could do these, like, vlogish style kind of Write With Me Wednesday, where I film throughout the week and then put it together in a video on Wednesday, but keep it writing oriented, so not quite a day in the life or an actual vlog, but like a writing oriented vlogish video. So let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. But I'm at my local park. I just got out of a job interview, and by the way, there's a black border around me because I'm using my front-facing camera, and that's just what it does. But yeah, I just got out of a job interview, and I don't know, I was just having like so much anxiety like last night because this was really spontaneous. Like, usually you apply to a job, you'll wait a while, hear back, they'll interview you, they'll like set up an interview, and then you go to the interview, whatever. But this was like, I applied to it and didn't hear back. I checked my email for a little bit and never got a call, so I was like, you know, whatever. I don't know, they found someone, whatever. And then a couple days ago, I checked so I stopped looking at my email and everything. And a couple days ago, I looked at my email and they wanted to set up an interview, and they gave me a bunch of times, and I wanted to do it this morning. And this was a couple days ago where I was going to schedule it, and they just got back to me and was like, no, that time is taken, you got to come later. And so I just got out of it, but we didn't agree on this time until like last night, so this is all pretty spontaneous. And I woke up this morning and I was stressing. I was like, oh my god, I gotta figure out what to wear, I gotta figure out what to say, I gotta have my resume, I gotta do this, and what's gonna happen, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I watched Stone Alone's video, which is so funny, I'll tell you why in a second, but it was one about his startup, something, and he was all pumped up, like, I don't know, I might link it below, or you could I'll link his channel below, and it's so good, like, he's my favorite YouTuber. But, anyway, so he just went to this startup thing, this big convention, and he was all, like, amped up, and so it just kind of, like, relaxed me, because I don't know. And then in another video, he was like, what, people have anxiety and they're all pissed off, like, if you go to a job interview, what the fuck do you think is gonna happen? And I cracked up, because it was like, I watched that right before the interview, so I was dying. And it kind of made me realize, like, why am I scared? It's an interview. I've done tons of these, you know. If I don't get the job, I already have a job, so what the fuck does it matter anyway? And yeah, I was just like, chilling. So it's not that my anxiety went away, because I was still very, very anxious. It's just that, like, now it's kind of like keeping in mind, like, it's not logical to have this anxiety about this. You feel anxious, that's okay, go kill it anyway. And that's kind of the mindset I was in when I was just trying to, like, not let my anxiety get to me. Even though I was anxious, I was feeling like the anxiety in my body, I was tense, just not letting it get to me, just like still continuing to do what I want to do with anxiety. And that's a little bit of what he said in that video too. But yeah, so I was just chilling, and I went in there. It's at my local library, so I think that would be a dope place to work, being a writer. And which is why I'm putting it in this video, because it is writing oriented. But yeah, so I was sitting in there, and like driving there and being there, all these memories popped up of just like, I never go to this side of the town anymore, but in high school, this is where my high school was, pretty close to here, so all the memories I had just brought back up, and not like shitty ones, like just the vibe, just like remembering that being in high school, and now I'm not even in college anymore. It's just crazy. That is insane to think about. I literally, if looking back in high school, I never thought I would be where I am at today, even though I'm not doing anything insane, but I just never thought I would make it like this. And one day, my friend and I think we were like 16 or 17, we drove around, or we actually walked around the entire city, and like getting job applications, applying to jobs, and doing all that stuff. And like, for no reason, we didn't need jobs, we lived with our parents, we were chilling, we were in high school, we just wanted fucking jobs, like, we just wanted to do that, we just wanted to grind like that, and just see what it was like. No one fucking hired us because we weren't 18, but that memory, because the library is right next to where we were walking, that whole day we just went building to building to building to building to building, getting job applications, sitting in the car, filling them out, turning them back in. And oh man, it was so funny. Like, I couldn't imagine like another person I know that would do that. And we were both so amped on it. We were like, yeah, let's go get jobs. We don't need fucking jobs, but let's go get jobs. And like, you think like 17-year-olds now, they don't want to, well, some 17-year-olds, they just don't want to go out and get a job. They're like forced to, but we really wanted to go get jobs and no one hired us because we weren't 18. But it's cool. But that popped up and I was cracking up. And then I got into the library and I'm like waiting for the girl to come out or whatever. And I remember putting my business cards out on that table and they were not there anymore. But I didn't get any emails, so I doubt people took them. They probably just found them and threw them away. But because I didn't ask permission to put them there. But I was sitting there and I was thinking about that. I was like, what if they just asked me to this interview to ask me to stop putting my business cards out or some stupid shit? I started getting paranoid. Like, what if they bring this up in the interview that my business cards were out there and I didn't ask permission? And then I started like getting anxious again. And then I was like, oh well, fuck it, whatever. And yeah, I was just chilling and I was thinking about like the videos that I filmed in the library and the writing I got done in the library, and like just a few months later now I'm like interviewing at the library because I did apply for a position. Or I didn't apply to a position, I just turned in my application at the beginning of the summer when I was job hunting. But anyways, I've rambled on so much. I'm chilling at the park. It is a beautiful fucking day and I want to go skateboard, so I brought my stuff. I brought a change of shoes because right now I'm wearing dress shoes. And I just want to skate, but my stomach is really fucked up. My GI problems are acting up really, really bad, but I can't just not come here and skate when I brought all my stuff. So we're gonna see how long this lasts. Yeah. So, cue the skating footy. Totally just remembered. So I said it was so funny that I just watched Stone Alone's startup video, and I totally forgot to tell you the funny part. So the first fucking question they asked me in the interview, the first one was like, describe yourself. But the first, legitimate question that they asked me was, if you could create a program for young adults and teenagers, what would it be? And literally, I just pulled that idea out of his video. I was like, shit, answer. And so I was just like, I would do, a startup business idea where teenagers would get together and pitch a mock business idea, a hypothetical business idea, and everyone else would vote on their ideas and then divide themselves into groups and have to create an entire plan and stuff for a hypothetical business and get their, see what they could create and what they would find useful. So that was my answer to the first fucking question, and I only said it because I just watched Stone Alone's video about that, and I was in my head in interviews I'm always cracking up at my answers because they're just so phony and stupid. But this one I was like, fuck yeah, that was a good idea because I really liked it, and it was complete bullshit. It was just I watched his video, so I said that and I thought it was hilarious. But now I'm gonna go skateboard, so boom, let's go. time. I was in Colorado. I got stoned on a mountaintop, like, not a big mountain, it wasn't cold, like, it was like, I guess a giant hill, and when I was walking back, like, I was so close to the clouds, dude, like, there was a storm, and I was, like, right under the clouds. I was walking back, and there were prairie dogs walking with me, wild prairie dogs, walking down the trail with me in Colorado while I was stoned off my ass, and it was awesome. Alright, so it is the next day, and I mentioned in Monday's video that I came up with a little idea to help me write more often, and basically what it is just journaling, so writing whatever happened that day, and I want to use this to get inspiration to write more stories. So I'm sure tons of you can relate to this, where you've just been going about your day, and then at the end of the day, you're like, wow, something really weird happened, or something awesome happened, or something hilarious happened, and you want to tell someone just like a funny story that happened to you that day, and you have to tell someone about it. And I kind of want to do this, so just journal, write whatever happened, and if something crazy happened, or something funny, or something weird happened, maybe using that for inspiration to write a story. Or, yeah, just something like that. And so I'm just going to write in my journal here. I've never really been one for journaling. Every time I've ever tried to keep like a diary or anything, I just quit after a while. But I'm going to write everything just write down my day in the journal. And if I feel like something would make a good story or something like that, then transfer that to the computer and start writing my story from there. But I just really need to get in the habit of writing every single day, and one of the reasons why I haven't is because I just don't have any ideas. It's hard to come up with stuff every single day on the spot out of thin air. So I'm kind of taking the guesswork out of it and just writing down what happened, and maybe that'll spark some inspiration. So yeah, this is the first time I'm doing this, because I said Monday that I would start Monday, but I'm lazy and I haven't. So today is the first day, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to writing. Alright, so you just saw me write that, and, yeah, basically it was just, like, journaling, if any of you have ever journaled. So nothing spectacular. I don't think I'm gonna come up with a story from that, but I think it's good for me to reflect on the good parts of the day, because since I graduated, I've really been trying to teach myself how to appreciate life while it's happening, because my entire freaking life, I've just been living and, like, going towards the next step, the next step, the next step, and then after that's all done, when I look back, I'm like, man, I really loved that time of my life, but when I was in it, I didn't love it that much, or it was just life. It wasn't anything crazy, amazing. I didn't appreciate it until later. And so I really don't want to do that anymore. I really want to just appreciate life while it's happening and not look back and think, damn, I really should have appreciated that. And so writing that down, just like reflecting on how I was skateboarding in the park, because I've always wanted to freaking do that, skateboard at the park, just like, just cruise, really, in the awesome weather. And I had my CBD pen, and I was vaping that, and filming, which is cool, because this is a new interest of mine, and, just like incorporating all these new things that I like to do into one thing. And it was just, I don't know, before I wouldn't have done that, because I just would have been like too anxious about the job interview, or just too Well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I'll just do it another day and just put things off because I'm like somehow afraid to like go out and skateboard in the park, which really I guess I would have been afraid that it's weird to do that, or I don't even know why, but I would just not do things because the anxiety would get to me and it would just be the dumbest stuff and I wouldn't even know why I would be anxious. But I know like months ago I would not have done that, to go to the park and film and do that, even though I wanted to freaking do that for so long. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow and probably do a little bit of the same thing. I have to write down what I did. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it the next day, write down what I did yesterday, just like I just did, instead of writing it at the end of the day, because stuff could always happen after you write and you already wrote it down. So so I'm gonna catch up with you guys tomorrow. I'll try to make it a little bit different, a little bit more exciting, and we'll see what happens, you know? Tons of stuff could happen.